I know, I can't do my F's like that.
So at St Barts we teach cursive handwriting, which means joined up. The reason we teach cursive handwriting is many different reasons. It improves the children's speed, it improves their fluency, it even helps them to spell. It helps them to shape words. You know, for example, if they're writing the word the, it's not cursive. They'd have to remember it's a T, an H and an E. But if they're writing cursively, they almost see the shape of the word, so it helps them to spell. I have taught this way before, and often children would reverse letters like this. It very rarely happens with cursive handwriting. I've got a lot of early years colleagues who cursive handwriting because at this stage it is really tricky to teach them. So my job is the hardest, but they thank me further on through the school because if they can get this right now, then it makes it so much easier for them as they go on. And if you look at some of the year 4, 5, 6 writing, it's absolutely beautiful at St Barts. It's just, you know, sometimes I compare it with other schools and I think, wow, it looks really, really good. So, you know, it's a bit of hardship at the moment, but it's a really good thing to do. Anyway. Yeah. Right, so we teach them in sort of families of letters, really. We are teaching them as we go through the phonics at the moment, but the more formal handwriting is taught in families of letters. I don't know if any of them have taught you about rock and roll yet. Yes. So that a lot of letters I teach them as rock and roll letters. Now every letter we do a lead in. So every letter starts in a line at the beginning of a word, but don't worry about that for them now. We'll just tell them that every letter starts in a line. And the rock and roll action goes like that. So the first one is a C, so we say rock and roll. So if you just want to copy mine as we go, and then you get the, oh gosh, they finished already, I'm going to go fast. So it's rock and roll. And then the next one is an O, so it's rock and roll, up. And then we join across the top from an O.
Does it matter if they don't do it in a fluid movement?
It does matter, and they must make sure they go the right way.
He likes to do a circle, then add the bits.
No, yeah. Don't worry, that's completely normal, but no, we're trying to, yeah. A is a rock and roll. So rock and roll, up and down, and a flick out. And then a D, which I say is just like an A, but has a twist stick. Rock and roll, up and down with a flick.
What are you doing?
A G. Now a G sits on the line with the tail under the line and a loop. That's what we say. And a Q. Rock and roll, up, straight down. And then this bit is the joining, so that will join to the next letter. There's one more letter, can anyone guess which one it is? It's rock and roll. S. It's S. So rock and roll. And then S joins from the bottom. Very neat handwriting. So they're the rock and roll letters. Apologise for my voice.
That's weird.
Now,
Are you doing lowercase? Because Jack seems to be doing quite a lot of capitals.
I think some nurseries teach capitals, so yeah, I think we need, yeah. I don't think any nurseries teach the way we are, so they're all sort of starting together. Yeah, it's probably just the way he's been used to doing in nursery. Now we're going to go to the up and down letters, so we'll start with U, which is flick up and then straight down. Down, sorry. Up and down. And then I, which is half the size of an L, with a dot. They love to put great big blobs on. Yeah. And then a T is technically not quite as tall as an L. and then you go through it. Right the way through. And then we have U, which is the same size as the I. Towards the end of reception, you're really aiming for them to try and get all the little letters the same size and the tall letters the same size. Y, it's just like G, so it's up and down, up, and then it has a tail, and that loop is what joins to the next letter. And then finally we've got J, which is a flick up, down, loop, and then a dot. We call these lead-ins. So we've got N, flick up, down, up and over with a flick. And we've got M, we use a curly M. H is a tall letter. Now R is a bit tricky because it has to have a little bit of a wobble if it's joining to a taller letter. So this is an R, but if it's say it's joining to an H, you'd have to have a sort of little bit of a wobble there and then go up again. So it's quite hard, that one. Now P obviously sits on the line with the tail under the line. You go straight back up the line, but then it joins from here, so it will go to the next letter from there. B is another one with it straight here, and again it joins from the bottom there. You will have all this. And then K, we do the curly K. The reason we do that is because you don't have to take your pencil off the page. When you do it. Kicking. Have I covered them all? Right. When you go on to V. V and W, we teach them as straight. And V, like O, goes from across the top there. And same with W, so we're going to lead in. I usually say zigzag, zigzag, or something like that, and then across the top. Then the worst ones of all, I'll start a new page for these. Z. Z is very peculiar. We're going to lead in. Now I say to the children, I do a big number 3, and then I loop. That's the Z. Trouble is, if you can do Zs like that, but it's really hard to join to the next letter. That's we've X. This is the only letter that you do have to take your pen off the page. So we're going to flick up. I say we do a backwards C, then you take the pen off the page, and then a forward C, and that also, and that's not right. I shouldn't have done that. And then it can join to the next letter, you see. So it's not a straight one. If it's a straight one, you end up finishing there, so you can't get to the next letters. And then F. So you start on the line. It's about the same height as a T. You go up, you loop round, you go straight down, you loop that way, and you go through. And that's it. Simple. If your child's called Elizabeth, then... Is that okay?
It's brilliant.